Hello and welcome aboard the Spitfire Mark 9. But this is not any kind of Spitfire, it's this one. This is the Soviet Spitfire Mark 9 with a rank 4 and a battle rating of 5.3. It features two 20mm Hispano Mark IIs with 240 rounds and four 7.7 Browning machine guns with 1400 rounds. This plane is really, really good. Now, obviously, it's a Spitfire, so you can expect a decent climb rate, okay dive performance, but excellent turning performances. And indeed, it does all that, but it really also does excel at climbing. This plane features 150 octane fuel, and that makes it one of the fastest climbing aircraft prop-wise in the game, especially at its battle rating. And stat cards and all that stuff, they often don't tell you the truth. Also, the high altitude performance is marvelous, and it keeps and keeps on turning and keeps on turning and diving and climbing. And the only limitation is probably that the armament is mounted in the wings and you have a somehow limited amount of ammunition. Now, obviously, it's still a Spitfire, so when turning, you have to pay attention that you are not too fast while turning with full elevator, otherwise, you might rip your wings, which is quite unpleasant. And also, with this specific Spitfire, I learned to take off at a very low flying speed to retract the landing gears early on. I don't know if it's still a thing that you can rip them early on at, I don't know, 250, 260 kilometers an hour, but also that would be quite embarrassing if you rip your landing gears at the start. Now, why is 150 octane such a thing, in this video at least? Well, first of all, as far as I know, the Russians never equipped Spitfires with 150 octane fuel. The next thing is that 150 octane fuel gives this plane an incredible climbing ability, and if you give a very excellent turn fighter also the advantage of rapidly climbing, where do you use your boom and zoom fighters? Because they're outclassed in every respect. Maybe in ammunition or guns they are superior, but if you can't kill stuff with two Hispanos, yeah. Now, the next thing is probably to tell you guys what is this octane thing. And short history lesson. When people first tried to build engines, they obviously wanted to figure out which kind of fuel performs best. And just, in engines, organic molecules behave a little bit different to what you might be used to in your daily life. They have kind of a fluctual burning pattern, whatever. And to optimize the fuel is something that is very important. And this is where we come to the octane scale. And people found out relatively early on that the organic stuff called octane, which is a high percentage of our fuel that we use in our petrol powered cars, performs really well in pure form. And pure octane was set to 100 octane. Everything that performed less good in terms of reliability and power output was set less according to octane. Everything that performs better than octane is set above 100 octanes. And so 150 octane is a very nice fuel. So this is my first attack run on a Seafire. He stalls out in front of me, nearly stalls out in front of me, and I dunk the attack, wasting over 30 shells in critting something unspectacular. And then I'm in a turn fight, and I gladly take it. This time I don't follow him, and I just loop around use the landing flaps at low speeds to get additional turning capabilities, and then he obviously sees me coming and turns down. I just want to threaten him a little bit with my machine guns, and I don't follow him. This is probably the secret towards Spitfires. Now, Spitfires give you a bad lesson in how to fly aircraft due to their amazing turning capabilities. You tend to follow your opponents a lot. Now, while this is easy to get, you know, guns on target, it also bleeds your speed, it bleeds your altitude, and then that makes you vulnerable to get circ rushed later on. And the secret to just keep the altitude and just use tactics used by boom and zoom fighters makes you a very terrifying aircraft, because there is simply nothing that your opponents can do except for maybe forcing a head-on, and even then you have a very easy time rolling or turning out of the way. So here I see a P-51, and that's the prime example how good this aircraft is. He sprays early on, I dip below, and then I just follow his rolling. And he did a lot of stuff right. The problem was he was not good enough. And to fly in a straight line was not the smartest thing. And the fourth burst sets him on fire. And I just, again, you have to be cautious with your ammunition. You can see just 56 shells left, and that's my first kill. So, then I follow the Seafire, and there we come to the next thing, the diving performance. Now, this is not a Focke-Wulf. Focke-Wulfs have a little bit better high speed performance, but you have really difficult times, at least I have, to make them work. Because then you dive, and then, where are you? You're low. Still, the enemy is behind you. And then you just can't enforce head-on. Can you outclimb it? Rarely. So, those are the limitations. The only reason, again, why German teams are so good is because of Allied teams refuse to switch to pure fighter lineups. And then, short burst. I see that it seems like he struggles with his engine. And I just simply roll over. Then take the lead with the machine guns. Short burst with the cannons, that's all. Second kill. And at this point I'm really low on ammunition, so I choose to go back to land. At least that's the idea. And I just cut out here a boring part of just flying on low altitude. After a while I decided to climb and use manual engine controls, and remember the B-17 I strafed early on. Apparently that was enough to take out his tail control, and down he went. And I will cut out another part. Now I saw a Tempest over our airfield, and then I decided to have a look above our airfield, as I couldn't find that Tempest in the clouds. And then I see him 6 kilometers out. I follow him, and I think that's the only one. But soon enough, it will be obvious that he is not the only one. There is the second one, and while those two guys are not in the same clan, it seems like they are on comms, or they are very good in doing teamwork, as you will see in the following part. So I follow them up. They take out the Yak 3, which is bad because now I'm engaging two Tempests with low ammunition. Guess my chances. They are not very good. They have more guns, they have probably more ammunition, and they are two guys. Yes, they are below me, but hey, not everything is perfect. And then I avoid the head-on with the first one, and I turn, and while I'm turning, I'm keeping an eye on the radar, because if the second one is smart, which he is, as he turned around, he will engage me in the turn fight. And the second one can bait. And so I know what's coming, I know that I can easily turn around, and again I avoid the head-on by simply turning. And I have an easy time still out-turning the second one. He comes close, but not close enough. And just watch the dance of the Spitfire. And it's right at this point where we have a threesome. So, I spray a little bit wild here, just 12 shells remaining. I avoid the second Spitfire, the second Tempest, sorry about that. And the first one goes down, apparently the damage was enough. And then look at this fantastic turning capabilities. How the Tempest hangs dead in the air. And the Tempest is much better than anything German or American therefore. And I just tried to get the assist, you know, but it was not to be. Clearly that kill belonged to the LA9 that joined the dogfight. But you just can see how good this plane is at turning and turning continuously and, you know, keeping energy fighters at arm's length. Now, it requires a lot of situational awareness, but it can be done. So, after this, I thought it would be time to land, rearm and refuel. I have not taken any damage. Some wild acrobatics to bleed off speed. As I mentioned, the landing gear is something that you have to keep in mind. If that is somehow a balancing factor, it's purely done, it's poorly done. But hey, landing flaps out, landing gear out, 220, I should be safe. And indeed, I'm landing very, very nicely. So here we are starting, and please pay attention to how fast, you know, I accelerate, and you know how fast I can take off, and also how fast I, yeah, have to retract the landing gear. Now I see that there are two fighters of the enemy up, and at the beginning I thought, well, I could directly climb into them, but then the F-82 takes out a LA-9 in a head-on. Shame on you, LA-9. And that's in fact where I knew I can get an ace. And then a Spitfire pops up, the F-82 again takes a head-on with a Yak-9 and takes him out in a head-on against a Yak-9P. Shame on you, Yak-9P. And that is where the situation goes into disfavoring me. I can easily deal with an F-82, but another Spitfire with an energy advantage over me, together with an F-82, bad odds. But then apparently the Yak-9 crippled the F-82 in the head-on so hard that he actually went down. There is... yeah, that actually changes the situation. Also, the LA-7 is up and chasing the Spitfire, and I know what's coming. I might not be, you know, the best pilot in the world, but I see situations coming. And the Spitfire doesn't have the speed to follow the Yak-9, and is too slow to, yeah, get away from the LA-7. So I turn around, while those two guys having a nice dogfight, and I just simply fake, yeah, head on. So, as I predicted, he turns then into me, and I simply avoid the head on, and you know, he took his chances. I think he knew that he was about to lose. Now it's 3-on-1, and yeah, I make some good hits. He actually went down anyway, I guess, but just to make sure that this is my 5th kill, I rip off his wing. So, 5 kills. Just one more guy to go for. And I make it really short for you. After like 5 minutes of searching the last guy, it became apparent that he's somewhere where those new vehicles pop up. And the Yak 9 found him, and I dove down. I expected him to be very high, you know, but British have at least some sense of honor compared to the Americans, and I thought maybe I can get my 6th kill, but he was in a flat spin, and I tried to get an assist, and yeah, he was flat spinning from the attack of the Yak 9, so fair enough, and that's game. So a quick look at the post-battle results screens shows us that for 5 kills, 1 assist, a 75% research point booster, I got 158,000 silver lines and 12,436 research points. So, yeah, that's quite a nice result. And, well, I was also first in team with 3,818 research points. Or score points, rather. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section what you think about the Spitfires and the Soviet one in particular, which is a reward vehicle. Subscribe if you want to see more. Give this video a like if you did. And see you next time in the skies.